Yo, so we going for a walk again. Y'all gotta excuse the bump on my forehead. I been a little bit stressed from this prep and stuff lately, but we're gonna keep coming at y'all with more content anyways. So, how much muscle can a male put on? Well, not even a male, but an individual, a human being put on when they're training. But specifically, I'm talking to males just because I remember when I worked at Vitamin Shop, I used to have like people's parents, their mothers and stuff, and then like guys come in and say, people's mothers would come in and say like, yeah, well, I gotta get him this supplement because, you know, his football coach was just saying that, you know, he needs to do this, that, and the other, and he done up and put 30 pounds of muscle on. And I'm sitting there like, what? And then like I talk to guys and they be talking about like, you know, how they put on so much muscle, but I'm just like, dude, if you putting on that kind of muscle, then I need to take what you taking. But you know, how much muscle can you put on? So when it comes to this topic, I think that this is something that a lot of people are misinformed about as well. And you have to understand that muscle is very, very hard to put on, depending on a lot of different factors, you know, your genetics, and not even from putting the muscle on, but the shape of your muscle also plays a big part in, I guess you could say how much muscle you think you put on, because you can put on the same amount of muscle as somebody else. Like let's say you and your best friend were training together, right? But you have better muscle bellies, but y'all both put on like a pound of muscle in 1 year. And you can look like you put on more muscle. So that's something you have to factor in as well. But just to put things into perspective, I'm gonna try to put some pictures on here. Just to put things into perspective, when I came into high school, I was 130 pounds. 130 pounds, I'm 5'5", I was 5'4", 5'3" back then. But I was 130 pounds, and my sophomore year I weighed 150 pounds. My junior year I weighed 170 pounds, and my senior year I graduated high school weighing 190 pounds. So, you know, I'm graduating high school, I'm feeling like the man. Of course, at this time, I'm just like straight physical. I just knew how to just lift weights and work hard. I wasn't really fully educated on the nutrition side of things. But I'm graduating feeling like the man. And then I did my first bodybuilding show 2013, the year after I graduated high school in 2012. So when I stripped all that fat back off, I got down to probably about 168, 170 pounds. 168. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, like, you know, because after high school, during that little break before I started bodybuilding, I actually had put on a little bit more weight. I had went from like 100 and, you know, I hit that phase where most guys want to hit 200. So I was like 190 and I had hit 200. I think I hit probably like 203, 200. And I cut down for my first bodybuilding show, and I got down to 168. I'm like, dang. What was it? What was I? You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there feeling like, you know, dang, I done lost a lot of muscle. But that's when I had to educate myself on how hard it is to put muscle on. And, you know, looking back on my high school years, I probably put on at most 8 to 10 pounds of muscle throughout those first 4 years of lifting, because I started lifting when I was 12, but I didn't start to visually see anything until I was probably about 14. That's when people started saying, you know, you're muscular. But I would say I probably put on 8 to 10 pounds of muscle each of those years. So I probably put on 2 to 2.5 pounds of muscle each year. But that was my first, those were my first years of development. And don't get me wrong, I'm 23 now, so I'm still very young, still, you know, developing pretty fast. But as far as my structure and my frame, it's not much different. It doesn't change like it does when you're first, you know, when you first start lifting. It just changes like that. You're growing like that, and you're changing, and those are your most exciting times when you're lifting as well. I got a guy that I mentor, and I actually was telling him about that. You know, appreciate those years, because those years you don't get back. Of course, you're gonna get more muscular, but when you go from, you know, having regular shoulders to capped off shoulders, man, it's just like it's a beauty. But yeah, so for guys, girls, anybody out there, it takes a very long time to put on muscle. I would say, I don't even know how much to say, but I would say don't expect more than 5 pounds of muscle in a year, if that. I would say that's even like, that's pushing it. But it really depends on your genetics, and it really depends on the shape of your muscle. You cannot change the shape of your muscle, but you can change the size of your muscle by increasing the weight and taking in more protein, and then just time. You know, time will allow you to put on more size. Training heavy will allow you to put on more size, as well as adding volume in there as well to stimulate hypertrophy. But you have to switch it up. There's a lot that goes into it, but like I said, for putting on muscle, you know, these extreme amounts, these extreme numbers that people are throwing out there. You know, I put on 30 pounds of muscle, I put on 45 pounds of muscle. That's not really, that's very, very hard to come by. But yeah, as you continue to lift though, and you age, muscle maturity will set in. Now this doesn't set in on most guys till about your mid-30s. That's when you'll see a guy that is a little bit younger, about my age, that is muscular, and most people won't understand what I mean by, I don't want to say smooth, but they don't have that same chiseled look. They're not crisp. But as you get to be a little bit older, and even women too, like if a woman cuts down, you'll see that she has some muscle maturity. But as you get down, as you get to be a little bit older, you know, muscle is muscle. It doesn't matter the gender. Your muscle is going to develop and is going to mature, and that can make you look substantially different even at the same weight. So yeah, I'm gonna try to put pictures on this video so you guys can check it out and see. But right now, the most I've ever weighed in my lifetime is 220 pounds, 222 pounds, somewhere around that range. And right now I'm cutting down for my show, and I'm currently about 180 pounds. But give or take, I fluctuate, it just depends. And that is another big thing. You have to pay attention to the fact that, you know, your body has so many different things going on inside of it, and your body weight is going to fluctuate. The only real way to know how much muscle you truly have is to get a professional measurement done, like a DEXA or anything like of that nature, and or to just strip down and do a show. I mean, you could do that too, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, so pay attention to the amount of time that you've been training. Put the proper, you know, protocols together to be able to put on muscle, and pretty much just educate yourself and track along the way. That's another big important key factor, is tracking along the way. I wish, you know, I tracked a lot. I took a lot of pictures. I feel like a lot of people that go down this route like to take a lot of pictures to see their progress, but I probably could have taken more pictures. So make sure you take plenty of pictures, make sure you check your weight and all that other stuff. What's going on, man? And that's pretty much it. But anyways, I'm gonna come at you guys with more stuff soon. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this walk. It's pretty hot out here. It's like 94 degrees today. So peace out.